Yay Media Group.
Oh, I'm like, you guys got into politics? And he's like, yeah, well, we were dating for 4 months. And I was like, oh, back to dating. I'm like, oh my God, I would never, like,
Ew.
we already talked about that. I don't think I could date
We're just
going to
stay together, even when we hate each other.
Dang.
Hey guys, episode 236. It's been a great week, actually. It's been really hectic, but it has felt good.
Yeah, we got a lot done. We're working hard.
Yeah.
Thank you guys, by the way, off the top for everybody who wrote us about doing the extra thing and rewatching our seasons of Big Brother. We're still kind of sorting things out, but we really appreciate your feedback, honestly, because both of us and the company, Yay, that we work with, we want to make it work for everybody. And we're still kicking the can around on that idea, but we really appreciate your feedback. It actually helped us a lot.
Oh, so much. And I appreciate everybody was so kind about it.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean, honest
love
feedback.
your podcast, but it's just not in the budget right now. Or no, I just don't pay for subscriptions at all.
Right. Or
And
yes. Yeah. It was all over the board.
everybody was very kind. So I appreciate the feedback because that definitely determines a lot.
Yeah. But anyways, it does feel good. Like when you're busy all day, it sucks when you're in it. But then when you're done, you're like at night, you're like, oh, that was a good day. I put in an honest day's work. You know?
I know. And then I sleep better. I've been just so tired. I went today. Look at my arms, you guys. Can y'all see? I went and got a laser.
Insert a picture of your back.
Oh my gosh, my back looks gnarly.
I don't understand why you do that to yourself.
We've
And then
already discussed it. We're not going to talk about it, but I do it every year around this time. My skin holds a lot of like pigment, or what is it, melanin, or however they say it. And I'm always even like January, February, I'm still too tan from like the summer, even though I'm not out in the sun. And so today they were like, yeah, you're fine. You can get stuff done. I didn't get my chest done, but I do my arms every year. My back again looks gnarly, but one of the girls, I go to this place called Vital in Cherry Creek. I've been going there since 2018. And Trista from The Bachelor that was here, she always went there. And so she referred me there whenever we moved here because I didn't know where to go. But one of the girls is moving away. And she's always just so great, like so positive, so pleasant, even if she's having a bad day. And she's just a sweet girl, young, in her 20s. And her husband got into the Navy and they're moving away. And today was her last day. So I kind of planned it, like I coordinated it with her, like it was going to be her last day so I could tell her bye. And I don't know, I just like kept getting this feeling. I was like, okay, I need to go get her a Starbucks gift card, or I need to get her something before she leaves, because she's just been so great to me, like with scheduling, or calls me and like, can you change your appointment? I'm like, sure, no problem. And I always get like attached to people at the places I go. And then when someone leaves, I hate it. I hate when they leave because I just know them and I just enjoy like catching up with them when I go to my appointments. It's just like when you go to your hair appointments. And anyways, so today, I didn't have time to go get a gift card. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to run to the ATM and get some cash because she's driving cross country by herself. And I told her, I like gave her the money today. And I was like, here, each state you go into, like get a Starbucks on me and like to keep you up and driving, because I know that's got to be hard moving everything. And she started crying. And then I got like all teary eyed and I was like, oh, no, stop doing that. I was like, that makes me cry. And I was like, I'm really going to miss you. But we had talked about things before and she's just like, I'm going to start my YouTube page again. I'm going to do this. And she's like, I don't know where life is going right now. And I was like, things are going to be good. It just like reminded me when I was in my late 20s and I didn't know what was going to happen. Like we get up and we move to Colorado, we put Lawson in the back of the car and we start driving, you know? And it was just like, what's this life going to be like? What's going to happen? And it always works out, even when it seems like times are tough or things don't feel right at the time. And she's moving even further away from her family. And so it just like, I don't know. I just like, it was like on my heart that I had to like do some, I mean, it wasn't like a lot, but I mean, I felt like I just needed to do something for her.
That was nice.
Yeah.
They reminded me, did we talk about like cheating on your barber last time? I don't know if I had that conversation. I just got my hair cut like last week, and usually I just cut my own hair, like the sides. I don't touch the top of my hair. It was getting pretty long. And I've been going to the same girl since I got here, since I got to Colorado.
And their prices go up.
Oh my goodness, she's doubled since.
Because she used to go to DBL Studio.
Right, she'd come to the studio and cut.
For like $25,
yeah,
right?
She's doing good now. But anyways, she's like, did you get your hair cut from someone else? And I was like, no. And she's like, you better not. And like, she was mad. I'm like, I started laughing, and I was like, I didn't. And I cut my own hair. And she's like, yeah. She goes, don't be cheating on me. And I'm like, I'm not. I'm like, you know what? That's actually funny, because we had this conversation. I go, if you were going like on a first date, because, she's back in the dating pool and things like that. I'm like, that's like a good way, like, to get to know somebody, like if you're on a first date or something. And if you're like, where do you get your haircut? Have you been going to the same person? So I wonder if like cheating on your barber or cheating on whoever you go to for esthetician or whatever, if that correlates into real life cheating. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like a backdoor way of finding out if you're a loyal person or not.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, I'm loyal, but then sometimes you do have to change for certain things. Like I was seeing someone for color that I would see once a year or maybe twice a year. But then I started getting hair extensions, and I didn't want to go to 2 different salons, like go for hair extensions and then coordinate with the person for color. So it's just easier for me right now to stick at one salon and do color and cut, which I only get my hair colored twice a year, but still it's just easier to stick at one place instead of moving around. But I feel like I'm super loyal, and I like where I go for like Botox and skin, I could go other places, but I just like them, and they've known me since the kids were little, and I don't know. I get attached.
But I know some people who like guys.
Get pissed.
Well, I know guys who go to the barber and they don't even like their haircuts. They're like, I've been going to this guy for 20 years. I can't
still go.
Yeah, you can't switch. It's like it's funny. I never put that correlation together. I'm like, that's interesting. We were like having that conversation.
But you get attached. But I even know from working in the hair salon, sometimes I feel like stylists, they get so comfortable with you because you do become like family and you know everything, that sometimes certain stylists can slack a little bit and they don't do as good of a job because they're like, oh, Jeff's cool. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, we'll get it done quick. I got something else to do.
Yeah, I got something else to do. But then you appreciate the people that go over and beyond. Like this young girl, I love Lindsay, who put in my extensions. She couldn't, but she doesn't care. She's like, I've trained all these girls. You see whoever you want. But there are certain stylists, like when I worked at the hair salon, they would get mad if like I went to someone else. I mean, not me, but like as a customer, if you were there and you used to see Kat, right?
Yeah.
But then if I moved you over to like Jana, they would be like, why didn't you just put me with him? Maybe I could have worked him in. Why did you do that? I like that person.
Does Kat still cut hair?
Yes.
She was good.
She's really good. Yeah. I think she goes into Planet. I think.
Yeah.
I know she's by herself. You do get attached to that. Like yesterday, Leighton and I took him to get a haircut, and this guy came in and brought this lady cookies, and she goes, "What's this?" He goes, "My wife made them, and she told me to bring them to you." And I was like, "That's so sweet." And he had them wrapped in tin foil.
Yeah, you don't think about that, but they're part of like your little community. So speaking of like getting to know someone on first dates, we always have these conversations at work. Because I work with a younger crew, the producers are a little bit younger, and 2 of them are single. So we always get into like first dates, and I did this. How do I put this? This automotive company, Christian Brothers, advertised for the show. So I went in there and I did an ad for them. I interviewed them, and then they pay to go on the show. So I was there and I got to know this guy that I was interviewing, and he goes, "Hey, next time you come in, here's a card for a free oil change."
Yeah.
And I got to get my oil change coming up. And I was like, and I go to my buddy Jose, and I'm like, do you feel weird using coupons? And he's like, yeah, I do kinda. And I was like, yeah, I got this free card for an oil change, but I feel weird about using it, but he gave it to me.
Why?
I don't know why. I just feel weird like using it. So I'm like hesitating, or I'm procrastinating, I should say, to go in there. And then we got on the conversation. I'm like, would you ever use a coupon like on a date? So I was talking to Jose and he goes, no, I hear what you're saying. I would feel really weird to use it like in the first couple dates, maybe not the first date, but maybe like the third or fifth date. And then our other producer, Lauren's like, I don't know, if a guy used a coupon on a first date, I'd feel kind of weird about that. And I'm like, why? But we're just kicking around the conversation. And then some other girl walks by and go, hey, let me ask you something. Because we always have weird conversations at work. And she goes, what, Jeff? And I was like, what if someone asked you on a date and then they used a coupon? Would you feel weird about that? And she's like, why are you taking me to a place where you use coupons? So we got into this whole discussion. And then I came up with, I'm like, so what if you're on your fifth date and you're like, all right, well, I got this coupon, but then you planned it like weird and you gave it to them and they gave you like a look, but you already had one in your pocket. And you're like, and I also got this coupon for you for a little loving later. You didn't like that one?
Jeff used coupons.
Well, spring has sprung. Are you tired of that yet?
I knew you were going to say that.
But springtime does mean more motion, right?
Oh, yes, more movement and more chaos in our house. Lots of sports. Schedules are all over the place. But one thing that is consistent all time is what?
Our AG1. Our routine hasn't changed for over 2 or 3 years now.
Yes. And I love all the different flavors. I've tried them all. Citrus, berry, tropical. The citrus and tropical are my favorites. And I love taking my AG1 because it's immune support. And I have energy, especially when you're traveling.
That's when the AG1 travel packets really come into play.
Every morning I take my AG1, 4 ounces of water, 1 scoop of AG1, shake, and you're good to go. And I have the energy all day. Gut health.
First thing in the morning, that's what I put in my body. And I drink AGZ at night to help me relax and get those extra boosts of vitamins.
Go to drinkag1.com/togetherness to get an AG1 flavor sampler and a bottle of vitamin D3K2 for free in your AG1 welcome kit with your first AG1 subscription order. That's a $72 value. Yours free only while supplies last. Go to drinkag1.com/togetherness.
Tell them Jeff and Jordan sent you.
Jeff used coupons.
But we were dating for a while.
You always use coupons. And in the beginning, I'd be like, no, you're the man, you pay. And you would say, you just won Big Brother. You have to pay. And I'm like, no, you're the man.
Listen, we were balling on a budget back in the day. I wasn't scared. Remember the Groupon I got when we got massages at that, it wasn't an Egyptian place. The theme was like Egyptian.
It was
like
horrible.
It was like we were in a pyramid getting couples
scared.
massages.
I was so scared. I was like, I'm going to get a bacteria infection on my back.
What are you talking about? Bacteria infection? We were getting massages.
Yeah, like that oil probably was old. It was the crappiest place. It was so gross. Jeff brought me there and I was like, are you kidding me? And then Jeff's always used coupons wherever.
But I don't know why I feel weird. Listen, do you feel weird getting a discount code when you buy something on the internet? When I get like 10, 20% off, I'm like, yeah. Like before I buy anything, I always Google like coupon code for this.
I think it depends where. Like say I went to Starbucks today and I had my coupon or my rewards and I used it to pay for my coffee today.
Well, I don't
feel weird. But I know the lady at Starbucks, I'm like, I still can't figure out how to redeem my points. I was like, can you do it for me? And she's like, oh, it just shows up here. But maybe maybe it depends on who I was with. Maybe if I was with people who were like maybe snootier and like looked down on that, and I had a coupon, maybe I might feel a little weird, but nobody I hang out with, if I was with them, if I pulled out a coupon, they'd be like, that's awesome.
Maybe, I do think it's awesome too, because I used to love that show, Coupon Cutters or whatever. Remember they get like all those books and get all that stuff. Because
Extreme Coupon.
Yeah, that's it.
Yes. I loved that show.
Me too. So like at the grocery store, I don't feel weird. Maybe it's like my ego's getting in the way because I did like a television ad for them. And then to go back and be like, oh, here's that free oil change
I
you
could
gave
see
me
that.
because I'm on television, and I think people have a misconception that everybody's on television makes a ton of money, and that's definitely not the case.
Not anymore.
Yeah, definitely not anymore. But maybe that's what maybe my ego's getting in the way.
Maybe.
I don't think anyone would care.
Because when I go to the Infiniti dealership,
I wouldn't care about that.
When I go in, they just are like, oh, there's a coupon for this, and they can see it on their computer. They're like, we're going to attach that to your oil change. I go, cool, thanks for doing that.
And a lot of times businesses give out coupons or free oil changes because then they want your business and become loyal, just like we were talking about the haircut.
Yeah.
They want you like to service your car all the time.
But I think some people, depending on where, like certain places, higher end places, they don't want to take Groupons because they know those type of people who are buying Groupons are probably not going to be the people spending a lot of money at high end places.
Yeah. And a couple of my buddies own restaurants in Chicago. And I remember talking to one of my buddies and he's like, yeah, the lunches are a little slow. We're crushing it at dinner. And he goes, but I just don't want to put out like a coupon thing because it makes you, that's when you need more business. So it looks like your restaurant's almost failing in some sort of way. Excuse me. But they're just trying to get people in the door. Mm-hmm. But people have this misconception of like coupons. Yeah.
No, I have no problem with coupons. My grandma.
Is it coupons or coupons?
Coupon. I say coupons, but I say everything wrong.
But it's COUPON. Coupons.
Yeah, but I say it like Q.
You're dropping the O?
Coupons. But again, I'm probably wrong. My grandma, she's so cute. She will have, so they go to Walmart every Friday. And it's like a meetup with all the old people. All the old people are in there. My grandparents live in a small town. And they will go groceries, Walmart, but where they get their meat, my grandma has coupons for a different place. So then you got to go to the Kroger, and she uses her coupons for Kroger. And then there's another place where she goes and you got to get her other coupons. So you go to 3 different stores. She goes and gets her hair done every Friday. And then after the salon, then you go to the grocery stores, but you go to different ones. And then after, normally they'll go to like Long John Silver or like.
There's still Long John Silver?
Long John Silver. I'm like, oh my gosh, how do y'all eat that? Or they'll go to like Taco Bell and eat. And then at one of the places, you have to type in your order on like a kiosk, and my grandma doesn't know how, but they know her, so they'll come over and they'll do it for her. Isn't that cute?
Yeah.
But like that's what's cool about like small towns, because these older people, somebody's going to yell at me for saying old. It's like some of them, like my family, even my mom, they don't know how to work that stuff. Like the McDonald's over here, when I take the boys, you type it in on like a huge screen.
Oh yeah.
And then they'll prepare your food. But if you're older and you don't care about that and don't even care about learning that, I mean,
this automation and
I don't like it.
It's really like everyone's like, oh yeah, in the future AI is going to take everyone's jobs.
It is.
It's happening now.
I know.
I mean, it's really.
I don't think there's going to be any news reporters. I really don't. I think there's news reporter. I mean, your job's going to be wiped out. I was actually talking to Jeff today. I was like, you need to switch careers. I was like, your job's going away. And I saw today, I don't know what movie it is.
But I think there'll always be the news. And I'm not a news reporter, so the show I'm on is a lifestyle show. I don't know if there's going to be any need for that.
No.
But you were telling me that QVC is going away.
I just saw that today. I saw it on one of the news things about it. They said QVC filed for bankruptcy. And I called my friend to see if it was real. And she goes, oh, I saw that too. I was like, that wasn't fake, was it? And she's like, no, I saw that. And that just like makes me sad, because I feel like that's the older generation. They always bought from there. And now that's going away. That makes me sad.
Yeah, I think we're already in that
era.
But
I think it's because TV is going away. People are getting rid of their cable. But you know what's going to happen? All of us are buying all these apps. It's just going to, and then all these celebrities are going to move over there. And then Netflix is going to have to charge more to pay for Nicole Kidman, because she charges an insane amount of money. And then everything's just going to be out of hand. It's going to cost crazy cost. But then I feel like Netflix will have a QVC show. You know what I mean? Like everything's going to be on a streaming app.
Which makes no sense, because everything was condensed into one thing with your cable.
I know.
You got your cable, your internet, now even phone. You know,
but I mean, we were paying for cable and we weren't even watching it.
I know, but you're kind of trading that off and putting all these apps on your television, and it's not all in one place. They're all like on your screen. You just have to pick where you're going. But it was so much simpler. It seems like we had the right idea with television. But now it's all
going to be so confusing.
But now it's going to be spread out all over. You know what I mean? So if you don't have this, so you're paying essentially the same thing, but now it's just spread out everywhere.
Yeah, because sometimes with Jeff, I'm like, wait, was that on Peacock or was that on Apple TV that we were watching this show? And I get so confused.
And I saw this thing on Instagram. I was just scrolling through. They're like, if you want to watch every single game in the NFL this year, they're like, these are the apps that you need. And it was like 20 different apps. But there's going to be a game on Netflix, a game on CBS, a game on Paramount. It's like, you have to have all the apps to watch all the football games. It was just like put it in perspective. So it's like, well, television was actually better because it was all in one place.
In one place. But then they're charging like $250 for cable. I mean, that's crazy.
Yeah, I know.
Especially when you're not watching it. Because when I'm here, I don't watch TV.
Now I
watch it at night. I only watch it at night.
But now people are watching listening to podcasts. They get their news from podcasts.
It's true.
But the thing I don't like about that is like when I was on DBL, I could, if there was like a political story, I could watch CNN for a little bit and I could watch Fox, and they're two totally different stories. Mm-hmm. And then I would kind of make a conclusion on my own and then deliver that on the show. Mm-hmm. But now it's like, if you're just watching Fox News and you don't watch anything else, or CNN, whatever, pick your MSNBC, you're getting a slanted point of view. That's just my opinion. You're always getting a slanted point of view. And if you're not mixing and matching and kind of staying in your bubble, that's where your mind's going to go. And there's going to be no more conversation. It's going to be like, you're with me or you're against me type of deal. And I think that's what the problem is in America. It's like nobody's having that open middle ground and talking. Before, the old days, nobody even asked you about politics. Now everybody wants to know where you stand. I was just talking to my buddy on the way home. I was catching up with him, and he's from New York. He was dating some girl in California, which I don't think it was politics that didn't work out. I think it was geography to fly across the country. And he goes, he's like, yeah, our politics just didn't line up, And I was like, I'm like, you guys got into politics? And he's like, yeah, well, we were dating for 4 months. And I was like, oh, back to dating. I'm like, oh my God, I would never,
ew.
We already talked about that. I don't think I could date
We're just going to
again.
stay together even when we hate each other.
Dang.
It's just too much.
We did have a long day. Yesterday, Jordan and I are working on something else, and we had like a 7-hour day or 6-hour day of filming. And then Jordan's like sitting right where I'm at, like with our arms crossed. She goes, it's just hard working with you all the time.
We do. We're together all the time.
Because you don't get there's so much stuff that goes into like filming. You got to do this. I was using an iPad that I bought at like a secondary store. That thing crapped out. Jordan got her iPad
from like 2005.
The first iPad ever. It's so
it didn't
old
even work.
That the Wi-Fi wouldn't even turn on.
This is our problem. We don't spend money on instead of just buying something that's newer, that this is what we're doing for a living, that we should get something that works. We try to use stuff from 20 years ago.
Yeah, good thing our podcast company, Yay, sent us some equipment. Otherwise, we'd be filming this on a VHS.
Probably.
I'd be like, I can make it work on reel.
Oh, I've been taking these workout classes, and the instructor gave me this. It's like a punch card. And if I go 5 classes in 2 weeks, then I get this special discounted rate, which it's great incentive to get you to keep going. And I really like this place I've been going to. So I need one more class. And I go, hi, I felt like a nerd. I was like, I need you to sign this. And she goes, I love that you do this. No one comes in here and asks me to sign this. I go, well, I really my other neighbor was with me. She was like, she still writes checks. And, I have my iPod I listen to still. Yeah. And I was like, I like keeping it old school.
Those are making a comeback.
Are they?
Our station did a story about that.
I love mine. We play ours all the time.
I know. We still have, I was playing it right now.
Yeah.
We have an iPod dock in our kitchen with our because we have a couple old, what do you even call those things? Just
I don't
iPods.
yeah.
Like the real skinny iPod. And you just plug it in there and all my old songs are on there. I was just actually it's snowing here today. So it's been like a mild winter, but now we're getting dumped on. So on the way home, I was rushing before the podcast. I'm like, hold on, I got to get some stuff to throw in the crock pot. So I'm making pasta fazool. It's snowing out. But anyways, I was just playing my old jams on the iPod.
You know what I don't like is that Apple, every time you get a new phone or they change it, that like you have to buy a new charger. You know,
yeah, they're on like 3 different chargers now.
It's like, keep all of them the same. It's just more money for them to make by you having to change your phone, change your charger. My phone, I'm not a phone person at all. I'll keep it as long as I can. Mine is only, how old? 2 years old?
That's kind of the number.
Maybe 2 years, 3 years old. And I told Jeff, mine now is like freezing, glitching, having like issues. And I just bought it. Like I would keep this thing for 10 years. I'm not somebody that needs a new phone every time. They do that
on purpose. I'm convinced.
I know, but I swear it's because you got a new phone. It like made mine slower because we're on the same account or something. I have no idea. But now mine's like glitchy and yours was super old.
Yeah, mine was real old, but then it started crapping out. If you haven't heard the story, back when we lived in California, I got the warranty on my phone, which I don't get warranties for anything. I don't know how you guys feel about that, but I don't get warranties on anything anymore because they don't even accept it. I'm like, oh yeah, my phone broke. They're like, how did it break? I'm like, I don't know. I'm like, oh, we don't accept that. Anyways, my phone crapped out and it was all blurry. I couldn't make a call. And I went into the Apple store. I'm like, hey, I got the warranty and I need to get my phone fixed. Whatever's going on with it, I have no idea what's going on in there. And they're like, okay, let me pull up your account. And I'm waiting in line for an hour. And they're like, ooh. I'm like, what does ooh mean? They're like, your warranty expired yesterday.
And they can't make an exception.
I go, so you're not going to fix it? And they're like, we can't. It just expired. I go, what a coincidence that it crapped out the day after. I go, is that a coincidence? So I'm into big time conspiracy theories and things like that. I'm like, you guys like pressed a button and blew up my phone. And now I got to get a new phone. I go, I'm never getting a warranty. And I bought it. And they're like, do you want a warranty? I'm like, what the fuck do you think? I was so pissed.
I know.
But it's like insurance. You get a warranty or insurance for something. Oh, we don't cover that. It's insurance for medical reasons. What do you mean you don't cover that?
Right.
I got insurance on my phone. Well, you're the one, it rained on your phone. It's insurance if in case I break it. What does it matter how it broke? Sorry, don't get me pissed off.
You look like your brother right now.
Why?
I don't know. Like how you said it. You look like Scott.
Well, because I get pissed off. I don't know.
Get Jeff and his brother together and you can hear them like gripe about life.
Because we have the same philosophy. He's just smarter.
Yeah.
What do you mean, yeah?
He's very smart.
I know, but.
You're smart too. I always say that.
Thanks for the compliment.
I didn't mean that. I'm not smart.
That's like one of the, when people like throw digs, but they're not really your friend. And they're like, nice hair.
Oh,
and then they're like, I love you. And I'm like,
yeah.
Really? You know what I'm thinking in my head right now? I'd like to punch you right in your face, but I'm not going to say it out loud.
There's some moms I see out and I'm like, hey, how's it going? But in my head, I'm like, F off.
You know what else I don't like? So it's hard. Those people are like over the top, like when they see you, like, oh my God, how are you?
Yes.
And I'm like, dude, I met you like twice. Settle down. But they're just those people.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, I don't like those people.
Oh, yeah. Why do you think I hide from everybody?
Because it's phony. I don't like phony. And I know you're being
you
phony.
can normally tell. By the way, I always say it's the eye contact. It's how somebody looks at you when you're talking. I know, like right away. I'm like, nope, not my person.
I don't know why. See, I was doing fine. And now you got me all fired up.
Well, I didn't mean to. You started on your warranty and then you got mad and then went down. By the way, you know how I was going off about the washer and I told the guys, I was like, I am not paying for an electrician. Guess who's coming to my house tomorrow? An electrician.
Have you shared about like we got a new dishwasher?
Yeah, I shared all that.
Oh, you did?
On the last one. Yeah, I was like going off about it. But there's a guy coming tomorrow. Thank God my neighbor has a building company, so I got an electrician through them. And then this guy does side work. So he's coming tomorrow, and then hopefully it's not some big job. I think they let that water drip all the way down in the outlet. And I think the wires are fried or something.
Well, we should call the company who installed it. Here's the thing. I don't want to get the guy in trouble who put it in. You know, he's just trying to work and make a living. I don't want to be like, hey, turn the water on and got my electric box. And now I need to call electrician. You guys should pay for that. Why should I pay for that?
They're not going to pay for that.
But they're the ones who put the water in the outlet. We paid for them to install it. So if you break something, that should be on them.
Yeah.
But I don't want to get the guy fired because he's just trying to make a living. You know what I mean? I want the company to pay for it.
Well, let's see what the guy says, the electrician. Hopefully it's not a big deal. Hopefully it's something like super small that he can fix. So right now I have an extension cord plugged into the washing machine and it's plugged into an outlet down the hallway. That's how I'm washing my laundry.
Yeah, it's fine. I don't know why. I bitch about things, but I don't do anything about it.
Exactly. But that's how you are. That's how you are in life.
Because I don't want people to think I'm an asshole. You know what I mean? But what do I care? What do I care? Like, I should just call that company and be like, what's up? Your guy put water in my electrical, dude. Are you going to send somebody out here or who's paying for that?
And he's probably going to be like, that lady was crazy because I got really mad.
Did you say how mad you got?
Yes, I already
we already
that.
talked about that? I don't know. My brain is fried today.
You just have too much going on.
I forgot my
wedding ring
today. Mm-hmm. Why? How did you know?
Oh, I don't know.
I thought you saw
it. No.
Because I forgot it. And I feel so weird when I forget it. But we have so much like going on. If I don't like do exactly like my routine, forget it. I forget things, you know? And this morning I kept forgetting stuff. And I was like, oh, I forgot to take my AG1, like when I was eating breakfast. And usually that's the first thing I do when I wake up. And then I forgot something else. And I was like, I feel like I'm forgetting something. And I got to work and I was like, oh my God, I forgot my wedding ring.
Do you have your tan line?
Yeah, I have a tan line for my watch and my wedding ring.
Mine feels like my hands, when this is off, my hands are skinnier. It's like my hands like sucked in and it's white. Probably because I have chubby fingers now.
You take your wedding ring off, right?
Not really.
Oh,
not
you
anymore.
Don't?
No. I just work out with it and everything. That's probably why my friend Lisa, she's worked in jewelry. Her jewelry guy was like, your stones are about to fall out. It's probably because I do everything in my ring.
Oh, see, I
hardly
take mine
take it
off.
I mean, sometimes I'll take summertime. Sometimes I take breaks because my hands, I feel like, get a little more swollen.
Why?
I don't know. Because the heat.
That's usually like when you're out eating and drink. Like if you're on vacation and you get that puffiness.
I'm proud of myself. I haven't been drinking at all. I haven't wanted to at like taking any drinks.
Because you're starting to work out now. So you're like, why am I going to?
Well, it helps my stress. See like how my hand is? I don't know if you can see it. See, it feels like it's sucked in.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, right? It's probably because I was a lot skinnier when I got these rings. I'm a little bit chubbier now. I don't know. I just haven't had any interest. I don't more so like having cocktails in summertime. I just feel like it's just such a waste. Like if it's a Wednesday night, why am I having a drink? Why? So I can feel bad on Thursday and not be motivated and put on extra weight. And like, it's just useless to me. I'd rather be watching a show with you.
But tonight, like today, when it's all snowy and the whole house smells like crock pot, it's nice to have a nice glass of wine on a Friday night.
Yeah, it's that you can do that. I'm not.
And our probably practice is going to be canceled. There's no way they're practicing in this. So it's like, yeah.
Yeah. Hopefully it is canceled.
Let's put on a good movie. When was the last time we watched a movie?
There's no good movies out.
I'm sure there is.
No, there's not. The boys want to go see Super Mario.
I like documentaries more than movies now.
We're watching. Wait, did we just? No, we still have like 30 minutes left.
Yeah.
Hang on, y'all. I'm sure y'all are watching it too. What is it? Oh, wait, going back. Did we even say this with Val Kilmer? He's coming out. Well, he's dead.
Oh, before we started, we were supposed to talk about, you said someone else.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did.
I said Val Kilmer.
No, you didn't.
And that's why I'm like, it's.
You said, who's the guy from The Matrix, Neo?
Oh, Keanu?
You said Keanu Reeves.
I didn't say
I swear to God you did. Because you're like, Keanu Reeves is coming out with a movie and it's AI. It's not him. And I go, how's he allowing that? I go, he okayed that? Remember right before we started?
I think you heard me wrong.
I wish we were rolling because you said Keanu Reeves and it didn't make any sense.
To you. Well, Val Kilmer, which I think is weird because I feel like when you're dead, like they don't need to have a movie and be like, Val Kilmer is in this latest movie. That's just weird to me.
But if you sign off on it.
No, but let it be to rest. Like, you're gone.
Well, didn't they bring him in the Top Gun, the new one? But before he died, he did a part, but they kind of AI'd his face, because he.
No, but he was in it, and didn't they have his neck? They had his neck covered, I thought, in that one.
Yeah, because he was in the chair.
Yeah.
I thought they did some kind of CGI too to his face. I'm not 100% sure.
Well, this is it's an indie film, As Deep as the Grave, using AI generative.
Generator?
No, generative.
What?
GENERATIVE. Generative.
We got it.
Am I saying that wrong? But yeah, I think it's weird. And if that was my dad and he was an actor, I would be like, it would make me sad.
But I see what you're saying. But there's also people that they portray in movies, like Elvis, for instance. They'll portray him being Elvis. But what if you could digitally create an Elvis that is Elvis? So what's the difference?
I don't know. I just find it weird. It's like that, what's that hologram?
Yeah.
Like people do, and it can look like somebody from your past life or somebody.
Oh, yeah.
Like bring up someone who's passed away that like you miss and they pull them up and it's like you're talking to them again. I find that weird. Like
I don't think that's good for your psyche.
No, it's not. And when you pass away, I feel like that just respect the dead and be done.
Yeah.
That's just my opinion.
With Hollywood, it's a little different. I agree with you. I think your psyche would get messed up if you were still trying to talk to somebody that looked like them but wasn't.
I know.
That would kind of. I don't like that. I don't know if I agree with that. But for the movies, if you sign off on it, but then again, I don't like the whole AI taking over everything, which they are. Instead of paying an actor to portray that role, you're digitally creating that person, but it's not that person. But then I don't know if I agree with that. But on the other hand, if there was like a Bob Marley concert that was like
with a hologram,
that was, but not like the hologram, like the Tupac hologram or Tupac too. Like to go to a Tupac concert or a Bob Marley concert, but it looked like them, I would go.
I think it would be different if it's like not Bob Marley trying to be 2026 Bob Marley, trying to make that. If they take old Bob Marley from when he was in his prime and showing Bob Marley at like one of his concerts and putting it at like a hologram, like having him do exactly what he did. Like, I don't find that weird. But if you take Bob Marley and put him in 2026 and try to make Bob Marley be 2026 Bob Marley, that would be weird.
No, I'd like an old, like that concert that was super famous when he got shot and still performed, like that performance, or like I think we've talked about this, Freddie Mercury at like Wembley Stadium, that awesome concert. That would be amazing, wouldn't it? Like if you could recreate that concert and watch it through a hologram.
Are you talking about that one where it's like in the movie?
The movie, yeah. That's Wembley.
All those people.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That concert.
Can you
sick.
Imagine?
No, like when he walks out on stage, that like gives me the chills. Can you imagine
like that adrenaline?
Dude, you got to be rocking inside.
Oh.
But I don't know. Do you get used to that?
Well, I don't know. We don't know any rock stars.
Well, you still got to feel something. You know what I mean? The Stones, like when they go out there, I mean, they've been playing forever. Cool. They played in front of huge crowds, but you still got to feel it to keep going. When Mick's rocking at 80, 81, whatever he is,
Yeah. What about him being at that bar in Charlotte? Just that hole, I think it was a Thirsty Beaver, that hole in the wall. And he's just having a drink and not one person recognizes him. Don't you think he's like, this is the best? Not
because
one
people are, when you're that level, you might look over and be like, that guy looks exactly like Mick Jagger. I think we talked about this too.
Yeah, we did. But you wouldn't, like, I would probably be like, drunk at the bar and be like, that guy looks just like Mick Jagger's twin, but I would laugh.
You never say
think
unless you were drunk and walking by him.
But I do feel like a lot of famous people try to find places like that, like hole in the walls that you would find them at, and not at like fancy places. I mean, there's some that are, but I feel like a lot of them just want to low key.
I think when you're that level, I think we can't even comprehend on any level.
I can't even imagine.
But I think there's some sort of sadness to that. You know, like you have all the toys, you have everything. And I think there's some sort of sadness because even me, like the happiest I've been in this business was like working at CBS, trying to come up in the business, dreaming, hopeful. You don't see behind the curtain, you know? And it's like, oh man, I got my whole life ahead of me.
Because you were naive.
But it's not naive. It's like,
I think you kind of get burnt by the business. Bit.
But I'm saying like on a superstar level. I was listening to Arsenio Hall talk. You remember Arsenio Hall?
He did the... it's like from 1991. What is it?
I want you to do it. I know what it is. I want you to try to do it.
What is it called? The theater where people stand up and they do their talents.
Arsenio Hall, the talk show host.
Yes. Didn't he host like some talk show where, not talk show, but where people could come out and they do their talents?
I don't think that was Arsenio Hall. I know what you're talking about. The Apollo Theater?
Isn't it Apollo?
Did he host that? When the Sandman comes out?
Riley,
I don't know if
am I wrong?
Did he host that? Riley could check on that. But anyways, he might have hosted that. I don't think he did, but he might have. Where you touch the log or whatever.
Yeah.
And then
wasn't that him?
That was the best show. And then the Sandman would come out after they booed you.
Yes.
And they boo you off the stage.
I remember that show in not Star Trek, Star Search. Remember the old guy?
Oh yeah, Star Search.
I like Star Search.
Was that Ed McMahon?
It was an old guy. I just remember him I was a kid. I just remember.
Why don't know why I said Ed McMahon.
And I loved watching like everybody come out. Okay, keep going.
Arsenio was, ooh. Remember, he'd pump up the crowd. But he was telling a whole story about how, I don't want to get into the whole story. He's a very interesting guy and very humble. But he, back in the day, idolized Richard Pryor. You know Richard Pryor is?
Yeah. He was a comedian.
Yeah, one of the most famous comedians ever. Okay. So he was at like the Comedy Store and Richard Pryor was there. And he was just coming up in the business and he finally bought a condo and he was so proud of himself. And he goes, I went up to Richard Pryor and I'm like, hey, Richard. He goes, I don't even know why I told him that. Like an idiot, like we were friends. He goes, hey, Richard, I got a brand new condo. And he goes, I don't know why he said that. And Richard Pryor goes, oh man, I'd love to see it. Could I come over? And he's like, sure. And he wasn't expecting to say that he just bought the condo. There's no furniture. So I guess Richard Pryor's people came up to Arsenio and he goes, go get a bottle of Hennessy and some cigarettes or something if you're going to have him over. So he went and got Hennessy and cigarettes and they went to his apartment. He showed him around and he said they were just sitting on the floor drinking Hennessy. You know, Richard Pryor smoking cigarettes. And he goes to Arsenio Hall and he goes, you know, I haven't been this happy in years. And Arsenio Hall's and Arsenio Hall's like, what are you talking about? Arsenio Hall was making a point and he goes, you know, after 20 years, I got the house, I got the guest house, I got the cars. And then you go into that guest house and there's spider webs in there. And like, what do you need all this for? He goes, but when you're coming up, you want all those things. And he goes, I didn't realize what Richard was saying. He goes, I wish I did till 20 years later, till I had all this stuff. And he goes, I totally got what he was saying. Like, this is the simple life. Like back when Richard Pryor was coming up, probably, I have no idea, but it's like that the hunger, the fire's in your belly, you know, and you're like, I want to get there. And then when you get there, it's like, where can Justin Bieber go? He can't go out and have a beer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He can't go get a coffee. He can't go to
somebody's
Target.
Filming him.
You know, Richard Pryor couldn't do that. So it made me think like, those were happy times. Like when we had our little apartment, I loved that. I know it was like a struggle.
Our little apartment. I know y'all can't see behind the camera, but it's probably like our basement is bigger than our old apartment. Our old apartment's probably just like this over here. And Jeff and I used to, all of our friends had the nicest place, like way nicer because his friends were, you know, further on in their careers, because a lot of them are a little bit older than you. And everybody still wanted to come to our crappy apartment. And it would be at night. It was always like late night. We didn't have kids then. And we would just be making drinks still. It'd be like 1 a.m., 2 a.m. You and Scotty would be sitting at the window smoking ciggies or somebody smoking weed. And we're just having drinks and we're just talking about life. Or you and Scotty would get into like this. You all guys always bickered all the time about your differences and things like that. And it was like stuff like that was just so much fun. And again, Scotty had this like super nice place, like nice backyard. And then we have this crappy apartment.
But there was something to that. I always loved that. But I think
it's your friends. I think it's your environment, the people you bring in. And then here we are now. We have this big house and I love it. But if I didn't have the neighbors that we did, I would have wanted to move out of this neighborhood probably already. But it's the people that we surround ourselves with and the people that make it more fun. Like this morning, I opened up the garage. My next door neighbor, Julie. Hi, Julie. She listens to this podcast on her walk. Her son, who is in kindergarten, was already outside by himself with the basketball, comes running over, Lawson. And I go, oh, it's just me. What's up, Griff? And he's like, oh, nothing. Just playing some basketball. And he was like showing me moves. And it's just so cute. You know, it's just like so innocent.
I don't know.
But we're very blessed. And then like the other day, you were kind of having a day and you're just sitting on the front porch with our neighbors. But if we didn't have that community and it was just us coming in here and sitting down, and I know I like hide a little bit, but it's our friendships that we've made. And we've always, I don't know, I think it's like your vibe and your energy that you give off that have made it like you attract the energy you bring.
Yeah. I've been blessed like my whole life, like really blessed to have still talked to my buddy Mimo. Called me today. He's in Vegas. He goes, come on, buddy. I know you're up for a Vegas trip.
You should go.
Well, I'm like, dude, we got too much going on. But back in the day, I would have went. I'd be like, dude, I'm on the next plane.
Yeah.
You know?
You're not that far.
I know. Don't tempt me.
Go this weekend.
But anyways, my point is I've still talked to some of my high school buddies that are still my best friends. I have college buddies that are still my best friends. I have my LA buddies from the first time I lived there that I talked to today.
Yeah.
Big E, my still friends. The second time I went to LA, still talk to those friends, you know? So it's like I'm blessed to have really good friends from each different part of my life. Mm-hmm. And then all of our neighbors and friends.
Well, that says a lot about you and how you are.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
But I'm more thankful for them. So that's nice.
Yeah.
All right. Should we wrap it up there? That's a good ending. We got to go get the boys.
Pick up the boys.
All right. So let's read one and we'll get out of here. Sometimes this situation is only a problem because it looked at it. Sometimes the situation is only a problem because it is looked at in a certain way. Look at it another way. The right course of action may be so obvious that the problem no longer exists. I guess I just have to change my perspective.
Yep. Perspective is everything. All right, guys, thanks for tuning in. And thank you again for writing your comments on the last thing we asked you guys to do about the subscription. And have a wonderful weekend. We will see y'all later. Bye.
Wait, was it Showtime at the Apollo?
Yeah, the Apollo. Did Arsenio host that?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, he did. Good for you.
Oh.
Leave this part in.